Hello, I'm Glenda Quintini and I lead a team of 15 economists at the OECD working on how skill needs are changing in the labor market and what policies we can put in place to address those changes.
Can I ask, what do you see the future to be for careers advice and guidance and skills?
Well, I think career advice and guidance is very important, particularly when we're thinking of adult learners. Many adults who need to reskill and upskill do not have, for example, basic qualifications, or they have a bad experience of initial education. They are not motivated to train. And then you have even those who are motivated but need to be directed towards training that's useful for them in light of their skills. So career guidance for adults play a crucial role to motivate adults and also provide advice on the direction of training skills in need on the labor market. So that's extremely important. It's a very important element in steering also the provision of adult learning towards changing skill needs. It doesn't mean imposing for people to train in certain areas, but it means raising awareness of where shortages might be, where emerging occupations are, which will give good opportunities in the labor market and career prospects later on.
Can I ask around your thoughts on lifelong learning and collaboration really of government, business, large and small, providers, and the different national and local needs? Because you had a really interesting session earlier today, which I want to unpack in a bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, as I was saying before, career guidance is one way that you steer towards what skills are emerging in the labor market. And it's also very important that you align the training that is available to those needs. And that's done through very often collaboration between public and private training institutions. And on the other hand, you have the private actors on the labor market. So we had employers. We discussed a lot about the role of employers, but of course also unions, for example, and other employees representative, those who are on the labor market and know how jobs are changing, what new skills are emerging as important. So there's emerging models of collaboration between the two, so the training on one side and the employers on the other. In many cases, employers contribute to shaping curricula, for example. They contribute by working with some universities, for example, to decide what transversal skills should be mainstreamed in all courses. There are some universities in Finland, for example, who have a steering committee made up of potential employers, and one of the outputs of their collaboration with the steering committee was precisely to set up a set of transversal skills that then they are mainstreaming throughout all courses, like teamwork, like leadership, like autonomy, for example. And so now those have become intrinsic part of the teaching at the university. So this is one example of collaboration, very close collaboration. And then we heard from General Assembly, which is a private training provider, and they were telling us, for example, how they have very close conversations with employers to understand, to make sure their courses are relevant, and how they continue to follow also their students over time to make sure that what they taught them was actually helpful for them in the labor market.
Yeah, well, I wonder if we could talk a bit more about relevance, because one thing that would probably turn someone off from lifelong learning and continuing is making sure it's relevant.
Yes, absolutely. I think if we're thinking of adults, for them, getting a job, progressing in their career is certainly one of the key aims for many. For example, if we're talking about marginalized group or less skilled group, it is fundamental, and adult learning is really to help them stay employed if they are in jobs that are a very high risk because of the green transition and brown jobs disappearing or because of digitalization. So making sure that training we provide to them is relevant to the needs of the labor market, gives them access to employment, gives them access to good working conditions and good wages, and then career progression is very important. And how you build that relevance is precisely through making sure that you know what the needs are. There's many ways. I mean, some countries consult employers and use that information at, say, the government level to feed into curricula or into, for example, programs to subsidize training, which are then targeted to those jobs in shortage, or you work directly with employers, as I was saying before, fostering the collaboration with the education system.